Happy Earl Smith. On behalf of Sheriff Dallas Benny, I'd like to welcome everybody here today for the official opening of the Franklin County Sheriff's Office Wellness Room. I'll tell you just a little bit of background. The Sheriff's Office has been dealing with the health and well-being of our employees and concerned with it, actually, and focused on it for a number of years now. And we've had this thing evolved to where we called it the Trinity of Health. Okay, and that Trinity is simply physical health, mental health, and spiritual health. So we try to focus on those core things as we move forward. And obviously, the physical health, really kind of led us to the Ohio State University a number of years ago. So, today we're here to basically celebrate that and open this room up and really get it going officially. But our relationship with Ohio State has been absolutely wonderful. And this wellness room, and actually how we've advanced forward in our mental health and physical health and spiritual health and all that stuff, could not actually happen or wouldn't have advanced as far as it has. And for sure, this wellness room would not be open and exist today if not for the Ohio State University. Okay, the Ohio State University, in particular, the School of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences. We've really clicked with them on this room, and I think it's a really good thing that's happening here. So, looking back, I look back on the Ohio State and how we've had that relationship, and I think back to when I met Dr. Onati about the year 2009, and he's the guy that kind of started this. So he back then that was a vision to rehabilitate and treat law enforcement and first responders and military personnel. And over a number of years that has grown. So I have the privilege this morning of introducing this guy. And back then, like I said, he had that vision. And today, he is the Vice Dean at the College of Medicine and the editor of the School of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences. So I present to you Dr. Jim Milano. As points, this is and I want to make sure that everybody understands, like, this is an idea that I had a while ago that there's no way that we could have executed without so many people, Dr. Hagan, Dr. Cassis, all staff, Dr. Edwards, all the people here. So, I think that's going to come out in a lot of the news stories and everything, the support of BWC and so many other things. So that's number one. Number two, I'll give a little story. I'm going to give a little shout out to one of the individuals. So I came here from Virginia Beach in 2010, and in 2003 to 2010 and really 2006, we started working with some of the military folks in the Navy there. And when I got here, there was an individual who called me up and said, "Hey, my brother was working with you in the Navy, and we want to do the same thing here." So I'm going to give a shout out to Ray DeBalt. Ray called me, kept on kind of pestering me and having some ideas about, "Hey, what if we do this?" And I started realizing every day we walk by athletics facilities, and they have an athletic trainer, a physical therapist, a strength coach, a nutritionist, variety of skill coaches, and every piece of equipment that you could want. And why doesn't everybody else have that in our first responder community, our law enforcement? And the group here in Franklin County was really how do we partner and get this? So that only took about 14 years to kind of get going. And I really want to commend everybody in this room, everybody in this facility. And I'm going to introduce the next speaker, and it's really proud for me to say, Dr. Nathan Edwards really pushed this along and really got us over the hump. So it might be ideas that we all had, and a lot of people have contributed, but him coming out here as a doctoral student, every day forming relationships, building trust, understanding that we're trying to
help people who help people is really important.
And so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Nathan Edwards.
Thanks, Dr. Ewing. Would Jimmy. Yeah, so I'm Dr. Nathan Edwards. I'm a research scientist with the Human Performance Collaborative at Ohio State. And part of this vision, which Dr. Nadi shared so well, really also aligns pretty strongly with what the Human Performance Collaborative is interested in also, which is addressing human performance problems in a variety of different populations and where those needs come in a variety of different ways. And we really want to address and look at those problems with a brain, a body, and a behavioral approach. And when we consider the needs and the demands of law enforcement being a difficult occupation, it was a perfect fit and really a passion area for me in particular to try to see how we could implement the things that we know work in other areas, such as sport and athletics, into law enforcement to help people who give up a lot for their communities. So some of the work to highlight that we've been doing with Franklin County over the last really 5 years, but starting all the way back in 2010, targets helping deputies be more prepared for the job, making sure that they're trained in a way that they're able to handle the demands of the work that they are getting into, and then also helping them improve their longevity throughout their career and then after the fact as well. And part of the equipment and a lot of the equipment that we have placed within this wellness room, this training room, this center where deputies can come and receive some types of care is targeting those exact areas, helping deputies be more prepared for the work that they're going to be doing, recover from the hard work that they're actively doing, and then improve the quality of life that they can sustain after they finish their careers and go on with whatever's next. So I want to give a shout out to the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation, which has funded one part of the research that we're doing here, and that's we've been focusing on applying sports science and applying sports medicine into law enforcement and law enforcement training. Our approach to sports science has been centered on collecting information and data on performance measures that are important for law enforcement. So upper body and lower body power, cardiovascular fitness, sleep health, nutrition, your ability to see things, your vision, your reaction time. And each of these different components are important for a deputy to have a high level of skill at so they can perform their job duties accurately and very well. And so what we do for a sports science approach is we collect information on those different aspects of their health and their performance, and then we create reports that we give back to cadets within the training academy. And speaking of the training academy in general, this has been the location where we've started a lot of our research efforts and our efforts to improve performance, because it's a place where everybody starts out and it's a place where everybody comes back to for annual training. And so we've been applying these things we know work in athletics and trying to help cadets at the beginning of their careers understand what is important for them to maintain a high level of health and really succeed throughout their entire careers. The second aspect of this project is related to sports medicine, which in our case has been hiring an athletic trainer from our great Ohio State Sports Med outreach team to work within the training academy within this facility for 12 hours a week. And we've had these athletic trainers available to address acute injuries and also see deputies who maybe have injuries that are lingering from past things that they've gotten into. And the reception that we've had from these athletic trainers has been great. We've seen at this point, the athletic trainer has been working for 6 months, and we've seen almost 80 different deputies who've come through, and many of them coming through multiple times. We've provided over 400 services, leading to upwards of $50,000 of cost savings, just providing 12 hours a week of on-site clinical care. which replicates what we see in high schools, where if you get injured as a high school athlete, you can go receive care from an athletic trainer and at least know what the next step is, whether that's a surgical intervention or just put some ice on it. And we're trying to mimic that same thing here within the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, not only to help with the physical recovery from injury, but also to give confidence that they know what their next step should be and they can move forward with getting back into the line of duty and making sure they're healthy and prepared to do that. And so all of these different efforts can come together to help us push towards this goal of helping law enforcement officers and the deputies here maintain a high level of wellness and health and performance throughout their time working and throughout their entire careers. The equipment that we have in the training room, which you'll be able to see, is targeting and helping deputies with their sleep, with their recovery from exercise and from job duties, and their ability to recover from their job. And don't have to take it from me, but we have Deputy Vincent DeRose, who will share a little bit of his experiences using some of this recovery equipment and how it's helped him be ready for the job. Deputy?
I'll stand over here. So, I work for the Sheriff's Office. I'm in the SWAT team. With that, we have a very high stress demanding job physically and mentally. We wear a lot of gear. We have a very strict physical fitness test we have to take every year. So we're always working out, and me getting a little over in age, everything hurts on me. So when the wellness center opened, they let us go first. So I started using the cold plunge, which was absolutely fantastic for inflammation. It really hurts when you get in there, but afterwards I feel fantastic. I live in Grove City, so I'm down there a lot. I use the sauna after working out to loosen up my muscles. I've had some elbow problems, some feet problems, and the trainers have been fantastic. Every time these guys come over and teach us a class on nutrition, sleep, I try to take a little bit from it to make my life better, right? And it really has worked. The dry foot has been something I've been using recently, and I like it a lot. My wife says I'm really hyper, and every time I use that dry foot, I'm calm for a day and a half, and she really notices it. So that's been really, really good. She asks me to come in every day and use it. But honestly, everything that in that wellness center has made my body better. And with that, I can perform better. We can perform at a higher level and make everybody safer. So since the center's opened up, it's been fantastic for me and everybody else that uses it. So thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so thank you very much for coming this morning. We're going to do some tours down the hallway here. And to your right is the wellness room. So if you want to head that way, we're going to do some tours and answer some questions and things like that. So thanks for coming this morning, and see you down the hallway here.